Last night we were so happy, but this morning you suddenly said, let's not be together anymore. So when it comes to Zi Wei, you need to learn these quick start tips and tricks. All right, this course is mainly to let everyone know that in the vast system of Zi Wei Do Shu, you don't necessarily have to become a Do Shu master, but there are some simple methods you can use right away, and they're quite accurate. However, they'll always just tell you that, oh, it's not just about saying things like, your love life will never go smoothly, or only giving you negative meanings. These little tips won't just tell you that. Instead, they'll help you understand some aspects of Du Shu, like how its structure is put together and what the underlying principles are. If you want to gain a deeper understanding, you can join a series of courses that make it easy for everyone to enter the world of Du Shu. These are very affordable lecture courses, just a few $100, and you'll learn a small technique that you can take home and use. Each short video segment, actually, I'm talking about that lecture, what exactly will be covered in it. Of course, even if you don't attend the lecture, you can still learn a useful little technique from the video, but the lecture content will go deeper, so if you want to explore further, you can come and join the lecture. With just the time it takes to have afternoon tea and spending just a little bit of money, like what you'd spend on afternoon tea, you can learn a skill that will help you in life, a skill you need. This year, there are two most important things. First, everyone's Kaibo Palace has a gyroscope, and everyone has a bronze blue star, which is hidden in the Spouse Palace. There's also a red blue star hidden along the chest line, and the Spouse Palace will have a bit of this as well. As there are ambiguous feelings, and there's also a Qingyang star in the Spouse Palace. So up until now this year, you should have really felt it. There are a lot of people around you who are getting into flash marriages, flash divorces, or quickly getting together. Last night they were really happy, and this morning they're already saying, sorry, let's not be together anymore. All right, there will be a lot of situations like this year. So when you're happy at night, shouldn't you first think about whether when you wake up the next morning, you'll end up saying sorry? What things should you consider in advance? Shouldn't you think about whether you're really suitable for this person before deciding to be together? When we first get to know someone, it's really hard to just ask them for their birth date and time. Like, hey, can you give me your birth details? Lately, I've been watching videos by Teacher Dagan, and I think, maybe I should first find out if you and I are compatible. I've also been watching videos by Teacher Da Yue recently, and I should first find out if your size matches with mine before we move forward. Try it out. Of course, you can't just say that to someone, right? So here, we'll teach everyone a simple method, at least to get a basic understanding. Forget for a moment what Teacher Da Yue taught. Let's first see if your personalities are compatible. In Zi Wei Do Shu, there's actually a simple way to quickly find out whether someone's values and beliefs align with yours. Of course, it goes without saying. In fact, when we talk about the Spouse Palace, we often encounter situations where two people have a clear gap in values or a clear difference in personalities, yet they are madly in love, fighting every day, but still together into old age. We've seen many couples who grow old together, and this is how they are. So when we discuss whether a couple is truly compatible, there are actually many factors to consider: family background, sex life, financial outlook, and so on. Are their souls entangled with each other, right? Maybe there are unbreakable chains from a past life, or all sorts of different reasons. But if we set those reasons aside for now, after all, discussing those would take a long time. At the very least, we can use a simple method to first understand their personalities. Whether your values are compatible, well, as long as you're compatible, even if you can't become a couple or boyfriend and girlfriend, you can still be good friends. You can have someone to chat with, right? There's no need to spend a long time messaging back and forth, and after a while, going on a couple of dates only to realize that the other person is actually someone who supports Russia, which I can't accept because I support Ukraine. As a result, we couldn't even be friends. So in astrology, there's a simple way to see if two people share similar values at the most basic level. So how do you look at this? There's a simple method. For everyone on their natal chart, there are 12 houses. Let's say the house of marriage is here, then we know that each person's 12 houses. Oh, the 12 houses on the astrological chart. Each have what's called the trine aspect. We all know that the 12 houses in Zi Wei Do Shu are made up of the trine and quadrants. So if the marriage house is here, its opposite, the Guanlu house, represents the inner feelings about relationships. Then this person's travel house. Oh, the travel house represents this person's outward social interactions, as well as their inner thoughts, and also their fortune house. The fortune house represents their spiritual and mental thoughts. These 4 houses, his emotional values, together make up his choices regarding relationships. Therefore, we often say that in Zi Wei Doshu, you can't just say, oh, how is your spouse house? Your spouse house is Zi Wei, so you must be this kind of person. Your life house is Po Jun, so you must be that kind of person. You can't discuss it like that all the time, because this is what we often say. You can't analyze a single house or a single star in isolation. It's never an independent existence. You always have to look at all 4 houses together. When you look at all 4 houses together, any differences among them will completely change the structure. For example, the same Po Jun in opposition here refers to the Po Jun that is directly opposite and connected to another house. They all look very different, and this is a truly fundamental Zi Wei Doshu concept that quite frequently gets overlooked by many. But under this kind of intricate structure, it genuinely and accurately allows Zi Wei Doshu to truly reflect people's unique characteristics and destinies. There is a very delicate emotional aspect present, a psychological and emotional layer. It's just like we often find that when we're interacting with others, people seem to see us as optimistic and cheerful. But inside, there is a part of me that needs to be cared for. I'm not entirely optimistic and cheerful. In fact, my optimism and cheerfulness come from hoping that someone will notice that part of me inside that needs care. So if someone is able to notice that I actually have this need for care inside, and they give me even a little bit of care, wouldn't I immediately feel like, hey, this person could become mine? A good friend, so I would immediately recognize and accept them. This is often how interactions between people work, whether it's making friends or starting a romantic relationship. Why does this happen? It's because when we express our emotions or our unique personalities, it's never just one side. There are always many facets, but the side we show to others is only one of them. All right, so because of this, we end up hiding the other 3 sides. In Zi Wei Doshu, this hidden part is explained through the concept of the 3 directions and 4 confirmations. Once you understand that there's this kind of structure behind Doshu, you can start to make use of it, to find people whose thinking aligns with ours, because if someone's thoughts are in sync with yours, at the very least, you'll have more topics in common to talk about. Similar values, similar social attitudes and value concepts, and so on. Of course, it becomes much easier to understand each other's thoughts. Now let's get back to the Doshu chart. The next question is, how do I know which are my 4 palaces? What exactly does it have to do with him specifically? In Zi Wei Doshu, as we previously mentioned earlier, the 12 distinct palaces on the comprehensive Doshu natal chart fundamentally represent how we profoundly interpret our entire lives in this vast world. Through these 12 significant palaces on the detailed chart, we can thoroughly explain our inherent attitudes toward various relationships, our professional attitudes toward our work, and indeed all sorts of different diverse things. Using these 12 palaces, of course, each palace has its own different interpretations. Through this structure, it forms how we as individuals face various environments and aspects of the world, and how we have our own values. So this chart represents our psychological state. Now, when we talk about finding someone to bring good fortune, a concept is that a magnetic field exists between people. This magnetic field influences and changes us, represented by heavenly stems. My heavenly stem affects your Zi Wei Doshu destiny chart. Earthly branches also exist. Our birth year includes both heavenly stem and earthly branch. For example, this year, since this is the Chinese way of recording years, the method of recording years is always like this. There are heavenly stems and earthly branches. The heavenly stems represent the power bestowed by heaven, while the earthly branches represent all the nurturing carried by Mother Earth. We use the heavenly stems to represent the influence and changes between people, and the earthly branches to represent the original values. So this year is the Renyan year. All we need to do is know which year the other person was born in. All right, then you'll know what their earthly branch is. In fact, their birth year's earthly branch represents their zodiac sign, which is essentially their zodiac. So we use their zodiac sign to correspond to the 12 palaces on my natal chart, and it will have a corresponding zodiac sign. All right, here we're referring to the earthly branches: Zi, Chu, Yin, Mao, Chen, Si, Wu, Wei, Shen, Yu, Shu, Hai. Then you look at your chart. Let's say your spouse palace is here. Then your 3 directions and 4 authorities will just happen to be Wu, Shu, Yin. Yes, that's right. Wu, Chen, Yin, Shu. All right, your father and brother's three directions will just happen to be these four earthly branches. So if someone else's earthly branches, that is their innate characteristics, fall on these four branches, then it will correspond exactly to your own natal chart. In other words, they themselves will also have these traits and personalities emotionally. If it just so happens, if he happens to be born in the year of the horse, then he falls within the three directions of your spouse palace. If he is born in the year of the tiger, that also falls within the three directions of your spouse palace. So we can tell that this person, because he happens to fall within the three directions of your spouse palace, then he might have some compatibility with your views on relationships. So at the very least, when you talk, there won't be too big of a gap. So this is the simplest way. Just by using the other person's zodiac sign, we can know whether there will be a huge difference between their views on relationships and ours. And if there is a huge difference, then there's no need to keep talking any further, right? Or maybe teacher Zi Wei will make a video next time to talk about whether there's huge satisfaction in terms of size. But here we're more focused on the spiritual side. Teacher Zi Wei is more, and what we're discussing is the spiritual aspect. We need to have compatible beliefs. So if the geological position of the three parties in a marriage happens to be someone you know, then your views on emotions will be easier to align. But at this point you might ask, teacher, does that mean I can only find in this lifetime? Is it only these four zodiac signs that are effective? Is that really the case? Well, of course not. There are still some small details in between. For example, within this geological position, your zodiac sign and theirs might be different. For instance, their destiny palace has a certain zodiac sign, your geological position has another zodiac sign, and this is your natal chart. Is it possible that I can't use any of the zodiac signs from my natal chart at all? What if the age gap is too big or too small? Can I still use it? What about the Jurian chart or the luck line chart? Of course, those can be used too, so you should consider them as well. We can teach you more details and more in-depth techniques in the seminar. But basically, when you get to know someone, you can check whether they fall within this zodiac sign. If not, maybe your values in relationships might be a little different. However, perhaps you both have ways to resolve or balance things between you. Oh, even if you feel like, well, even though his values are different from yours, you still find yourself thinking about him. In any case, this is just a simple way to make a guess. Next, there are a whole series of little tips and tricks. I'm sharing these with you to help everyone quickly get started when actually using a birth chart. Often when you're having your fortune told, you'll notice that many fortune tellers work extremely fast. For example, as soon as they know that you recently met a guy, right? He's a dog in the Chinese zodiac. And then whenever you two disagree, you end up arguing. You might wonder why the fortune teller is so quick with their answers. Very often, these experienced fortune tellers are using little tricks like these to give you an answer right away. They'll chat with you more slowly afterwards. Now, these little tricks aren't written in books, and it's hard for most people to know about them. But in reality, in our daily lives, you can use them at any time, and they'll be really helpful to you. All right, thank you, everyone.
I found the teacher because when I was looking for books on exam topics, I happened to buy the teacher's first guidebook. After reading it several times, I felt that the explanations in it were very clear. But just reading the book by myself, I still couldn't really understand my own situation. Actually, our class has a pretty good atmosphere, so the friendships between classmates really mean a lot to me. It feels like going back to those days in school clubs, but the biggest difference is whether you're actually studying and whether you can find a clear path. I see a lot of people studying on their own, trying to help others on forums or elsewhere, but it's actually very hard for them to verify what they've learned. They can only tell whether something is accurate or not, but under the same reasoning, if you switch to another person, it might not be accurate anymore. Because actually, the way Teacher Dage teaches is step by step, like building a foundation layer by layer. If you can arrange your own learning according to the teaching pace and structure, you'll be very solid and steady. You won't be jumping around aimlessly, and after learning conducting techniques from Teacher Dage, it feels like my path has become much clearer.